Now, let's talk about something that a lot of people have been struggling with, weight loss. It's interesting because whilst you are struggling with weight loss, I'm struggling with weight gain. It is that bad. Like, I lose weight in seconds. I just need to be stressed out, or something just needs to be on my mind and I'll lose it. But when I have to gain it back, no amount of food will make it easy for me. And so maybe I call myself unlucky, but a lot of people say that at least my metabolism is good enough to lose the weight. But there are people who unfortunately need to be stressed out and still they won't lose the weight. In fact, they gain more weight when they're undergoing stress. And so they have resorted to a number of things to try and lose the weight. Some are born with it, unfortunately, or maybe fortunately. It really depends on how you see it. And regardless, they've still tried everything from hitting the gym to going on a diet to going on some, drugs or supplements that will help them lose the weight or prevent them from eating too much. It's still not working. And so today we're going to find a solution. I have Dr. Razak Rahman. He's a medical doctor in the studios with us. Good morning. How are you doing?
Greetings. I am well.
Good to have you in the studios.
Likewise.
And I like your suit, by the way. And Hurricane is a fitness trainer. He also runs his own company. Hello, hello.
Hello.
Oh, so that's the H, right?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Glass and crown. All blinks. All blinks. Good to have you both in the studios. I'll start off with you. Since you're a fitness trainer, how long have you been doing this?
I've been doing this for 10 years.
Why did you go into fitness?
I mean, fitness is something very important. I feel like people don't really know why it is important. People just go into the gym and don't know what they're doing. And then I haven't been to the hospital in a long time.
Oh,
I'll go just to check out.
Is it?
Because, fitness, it helps you a lot.
But why did you go into it?
I wanted to be confident. You know, when you're young, you want to get the muscles, get the girls.
So you were tiny?
Yes, I was very skinny. Very skinny.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's what compelled you to go into it, not necessarily for health reasons?
Yes.
Oh.
But it changed along the line.
I see.
Because once you start seeing results, you become addicted.
Okay. And I'm sure that a lot of people have come to you for solutions.
Yes.
I've
helped a lot of people.
Trying to lose weight?
Yes, lose weight.
What are some of the reasons why they want to lose weight?
I mean, everybody has different excuses and different reasons why they want to lose weight. People want to look good in their clothes.
Yeah.
People want to be healthy. And people have health issues, especially obesity.
Yeah.
Obesity plays a big role in health. And a lot of people don't know the reason why you have to be a certain weight.
Yeah,
exactly. So once you understand that, it makes it a little bit more easier.
Let me bring Doc in because, like I said earlier, there are people who are born with a weight. And for such people, unless I'm wrong, you're never born with weight?
Well,
I mean, genetics, right? There's some people who have it naturally based on their family line.
Well, you can have a family predisposition to easy weight gain, and you can be genetically predisposed to easily put on weight, but that doesn't determine whether or not you're going to be obese or not.
What determines it then?
So your environment, your inputs. You have the ability to modify your genetics and by the inputs you give it. So if you're someone who comes from a family line where everyone is obese, the more regular physical activity you get with, let's say, a much more nutritious diet, then you are likely to keep your BMI under check.
Really? Because I know people who are trying everything possible and they're still quite large.
In fact, one of the main things that I do anytime anyone confides to me that they're struggling with weight loss is I always ask them, so what have you tried? And without fail, you can find some inconsistencies in the things that they've actually given a genuine attempt.
Okay.
Realize that it's a slow process. It's going to take time. You didn't pack on the weight in a couple of months. It took a minute. So likewise, it's going to take time to get rid of.
Of that?
Exactly.
But I still don't understand because there's some babies who are very, very big.
I feel like sometimes people get to a point where they feel like, oh, my whole family's big.
Exactly.
So they don't make the effort to do the exercise or change their ways. And if the whole family is overweight, they keep eating the things they're not supposed to eat. So when the kid is born into the family, they follow the same route, eating the same things the family were eating before.
Okay.
But if they're able to change their ways, they can lose the weight.
They can lose it. Doc, so when I come to you and let's say I'm obese and I need a solution, what are the first things that you recommend?
So first of all, I need to understand what your goals are. What are you looking to accomplish? We all have different goals when it comes to our fitness. Some people do it for the aesthetic reasons. They just want to look good in their clothes. Some people do it for energy purposes. They want to feel great again like when they were teens or in their earlier 20s, right? Others also may just want to prove a point and maintain health. So once we determine what your goal is, then we need to see what you have been trying or what you found particularly challenging. And then from there, we can segue into finding a solution.
Okay, and that solution would be, is it the gym? Because I know that there are people who have to undergo gastric bypass to lose the weight because for some reason they just can't. Yeah.
Even if before you go into a gastric bypass, you have to lose the weight. I had a client.
Oh, really?
They can't do the surgery without you losing a little bit of weight. Most of these surgeries, if you don't lose the weight, it makes it. There's a lot of complications.
Exactly.
So
your risk of developing complications going into the surgery is significant.
What kind of complications?
So you could literally, from the worst to the less frequent ones, death is a possible complication.
If you don't lose the weight.
Yeah,
so you should be, at a certain point. What is the cutoff weight for if you want to undergo gastric bypass?
That would be discretionary to the surgeon.
Okay.
But judging by their track record and looking at their patient history, they should be able to determine that, your BMI, you may not survive the stress of surgery and anesthesia, so they need to make sure that you are at least fit. So there's an anesthetic assessment that is done before the surgery.
Okay.
And it may require you to stabilize certain blood work panels, maybe your electrolytes, maybe your vital signs, maybe your blood pressure. All these things may affect your chances of recovery from the surgery.
Oh, I see.
So all that has to be normalized before we even put a knife on skin.
Okay, but you usually would recommend hitting the gym, going on diet.
Okay, so my philosophy is the gym is not necessarily the end all be all. When people hear fitness, they instantly assume I have to be in the gym banging heavy weights.
Yeah.
Pause. So the point of the fact is you don't necessarily have to be in the gym. I mean, do you know that up to 8 minutes of physical activity daily is enough to reduce your total risk of dying from any cause by up to 30%.
Now it's not 15 minutes anymore because we're told that 15 to 30 minutes a day.
Well, that's the recommended. But even as little as 8 minutes can reduce your, what we call the all-cause mortality, your risk of dying from any cause, whether it's heart disease, cardiometabolic disease such as diabetes, insulin resistance, dyslipidemia, and all those risk factors.
Yeah.
Just by getting at least 8 minutes of physical activity. So what is physical activity? It doesn't mean weightlifting. It can be as simple as taking a walk or riding a bicycle. But then again, there are certain proven benefits to stimulating muscle that you don't necessarily get when you just engage in walking, for instance. So in the Asian cultures where walking and a lot more of these persistence type exercises are the norm, you find the elderly population walking their dogs and just taking a hike in the park. They tend to live much more longer and have better cardiovascular resistance
than we do.
Yeah. Exactly.
This is why I bring Hurricane in because, I mean, we're told that sometimes you need to do a certain kind of exercise if you want to lose weight in some parts of your body. And so walking or running alone may not necessarily be the only solution. We've even been told that if you run too much, you might wrinkle early.
Oh,
is that true?
It's not true. And also there's always a myth around something. There's nothing like spot training. You can't do exercise to lose just your stomach or just your arms. There's nothing like spot training. So
no, but when you go, they tell you that, so maybe you have to lift the dumbbells because then it firms up.
No, you can't lose
your
one
arms.
spot. It's like building a muscle like you're building your muscle. Fine, you can build your muscle, weight around your muscle.
Okay.
But if you're trying to lose, some girls will come, I want to just lose my stomach.
And I want to widen my hips.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It doesn't work like that.
It doesn't?
Yeah, no.
No, but if you do the squats, it sort of...
That is why you have to balance strength training with weight loss. Some people say, all you have to do is cardio.
Yeah.
But you want to keep your muscle. You want to get the curves. You have to do strength training, do your squats, and add your cardio to it. So you're losing the weight and you're also building your strength and then building your muscle on other parts of your body.
But if I don't want to lose weight, I just want to get my curves. And so I really just want to slim this part of my body. There's some girls who have very thick thighs, and they come in and say, that's what I want to lose.
Okay, so you can't just lose your thigh, and that's what I was saying. Building muscle helps you burn fat. So let's say your legs, you feel like your legs are bigger, you want it to be looser. When you build muscle is more dense than fat. Fat covers more space, but muscle is more dense.
Okay.
So I'm sitting here, if you put somebody who's overweight that's 225 pounds, they might look huge than me, but I'm 225 pounds. So if if you put somebody next to me who is overweight or obese, who is 225 pounds, they'll be wider because fat covers more
Are you not
space.
overweight?
No. My BMI is under check.
Okay.
So my body, my dimensions, everything is okay, so I'm not overweight.
So it's probably based on your height as well, right?
Yes,
so that's why
exactly.
It's okay to be around.
Yep.
So for someone like me, I'm originally a 5'4", but I like to say I'm 5'5". Yeah. And 5'7" when I wear heels.
Yeah,
I mean 5'9" when I feel like it anyway. So for someone like me, and let's break it down. Doc, you can also come in. So what's the required weight for your height? Because I know that your BMI also is very important, and that has to do with your height and your weight altogether, right?
Most definitely.
Okay.
Most definitely. So segueing off what Hurricane was saying, there's something we call body recomposition, which is essentially what most people refer to when they say, okay, I want to lose weight here or here. So what you're really trying to do is you're trying to skew the proportion of your lean body mass to favor muscularity over adiposity, which is fat. So a BMI is merely a function of your weight and height.
Okay.
And for every extra kilogram that you weigh above your normal BMI, you pose unnecessary strain on your internal organs and increase your risk of several comorbidities associated with weight gain. So for every individual, there's an ideal weight for you. So assuredly, with every single day where you exist in a space where you are slightly above that target range with your genetic predisposition, then you're unnecessarily incurring the risk of heart disease if you're black, strokes, and all the other associated cardiometabolic diseases from all of that.
That sounds scary, though.
And also picking off what Dr. Zach was saying, a lot of people think people who are overweight are the only people who are unhealthy. There are people who are skinny that are overweight because you could be under fat too.
Exactly.
You still need a little bit of fat in your body to
So
be
you
able
can't
to be
lose all the
healthy.
fat.
Exactly. People think, oh, if somebody is overweight, and people are walking around that are skinny but are not healthy.
Yeah.
It's not only overweight people that are unhealthy. There's skinny people that are unhealthy, that are under fat. They need to put on
So
some
skinny
weight.
people have to do just what, cardio?
None
Or
of-
they also still
there's
need to
no
build their
specific-
muscle?
That's one thing. People think, oh, fat people or overweight people need to be doing cardio all the time. No, you could do strength training and cardio and still lose the weight. Skinny people can still do their cardio because you need your cardiovascular. That's why it's called cardio. Because if your heart is working properly, you're doing your cardio, you're doing your running, you're walking, it's all cardio.
Okay.
You know, so
So if I'm overweight and I'm not ready to probably see a fitness trainer, I want to do my own thing at home, what would you recommend? What are some of the routines?
like the doctor said, it starts off with just taking a walk.
Okay. How
Sometimes
many
people have
minutes?
to
8
understand,
minutes?
Yeah, you could
Okay.
do 8 minutes, 10 minutes. By the time you realize, you start by taking a walk. The next minute you're jogging. The next minute you're running. You have to start somewhere.
Okay.
Sometimes people be like, oh, I can't jog. Okay, go for a walk.
Yeah.
Instead of jogging for, let's say, 30 minutes, go for an hour walk. It still balances it out.
Okay, then so you can do that. But there are also people who want quick results. And so they don't want to walk, they don't want to run.
And that is the problem in the fitness industry right now. Because there's a lot of people that want to do slim teas,
Yeah.
waist trainers, all of this stuff. It doesn't work.
Waist trainers don't work.
No,
Unfortunately.
it doesn't.
No, but why are they telling us to wear when we're in the gym? Because then when you're exercising, it still gives you the curves and everything.
No, it doesn't. The waist trainers don't work. So imagine, where is the waist trainers taking the fat to?
Squeezing it all in.
And where is it
And then
going?
you sweat it
Where
out.
is it going?
Some way, somehow.
Exactly. Sometimes people's waist trainers are very tight.
Yeah.
They're suffocating. I had a client that I was training. When she got there, I told her she should take off the waist trainer. She didn't understand. I was like, you're uncomfortable. You can't even breathe properly. In the middle of the session, we had to stop because she felt like passing out. Because it's squeezing you like that, your breathing is not on point.
Exactly. And I
Okay.
bet if more individuals were forthcoming with what they feel by wearing
when they
these
have them.
waist trainers, people would much take those as cautionary tales. If you heard the stories about people passing out and having all these symptoms as a result of reducing their diaphragmatic excursion, so
Yeah.
they're not able to get enough oxygen in, and you're exerting yourself training,
Yeah.
and here you are reducing your ability to get as much ventilation as possible. So what are we doing?
But we've seen corsets from back in the day. I mean, people were wearing corsets throughout the day. And we were told that that's also supposed to trim your waist.
Okay.
And so you don't necessarily have to even exercise. But if you're wearing that constantly, it sort of gives you that figure as well.
Okay, so that is a misconception and a myth that we also have to dispel, albeit immediately.
Oh,
Yeah.
So internally, we have your body's innermost abdominal layer, which is the transverse abdominis. That is your body's natural corset. So you are much better off training the real thing than relying on something external. That thing external is only going to serve a temporary purpose to give you a figure or a look. It does not solve the problem. Here again, we are papering over the cracks. We are not really addressing the underlying solution, okay, which is train your transversalis abdominis, the innermost layer of your core region.
okay.
So the corset is just like wearing something to hold it in, to kind of prompt you and remind you, okay, maybe I should be tucking my abdominis in
Yeah.
a little bit. But it's not the solution.
Slim tea as well?
No, even slim tea is worse. Because you don't know what you're putting in your body. Some of these things cause liver issues after a while. And And that's the problem with the fitness industry. It's hard because people follow these things, people looking for shortcuts. Shortcuts is not the way. Why don't you just put in the work? You know, and that is why I have a class called Afrobeat Burnout. It's a dance and fitness class. Because I found that people don't want to go to the gym and lift weights. People want to have fun while working out.
Yeah.
So I love to dance. I put dance and fitness together.
Okay.
So you come, you dance, you burn over 1,000 calories in the class.
But Slim Tea gives me that as well. And when I say Slim Tea, I mean I'm not referring to that brand necessarily, but all the brands under that. So there are a number of them, and they're being advertised on social media on a daily.
Because that's what the people want. People are following these things.
It works, which is why people are buying it.
Slim Tea is like laxatives. You can't take laxatives all the time. The doctor could tell you that.
Most definitely. So I think it bears mention that we should first distinguish between quote-unquote slim teas and regular tea.
Okay.
I have a background where I spent some time in Asia, so I'm a big proponent of drinking regular tea.
Okay.
So black tea, green tea, pu'er tea, oolong tea.
Chamomile and all those ones are safe.
Exactly. These are time-tested teas.
Okay.
Most of them are from the same family, Camellia sinensis, the green tea plant. So either way, the point is when you start adding excessive doses of laxatives and appetite suppressants, now what you're doing is you're giving your body an external signal to try and quell your appetite, albeit quite unnaturally. So this is always going to have a feedback effect. So whatever it is that you're doing, you end up losing some weight here and there, some water weight, because you're literally flushing everything out.
Yeah.
But ask yourself this, what happens when you stop taking the tea?
What happens? You go back to your natural state.
You gain all the way back.
Exactly.
It's just like when you exercise. If you stop, we're told you bloat even more.
That is not true.
Has that been your experience, Bella?
If you stop,
Listen, I told you, I struggle to gain weight as against losing the weight. So as I'm sitting here, I have a problem because I'm trying to gain the weight back. But
Okay,
it's
so
not
what are
coming.
you doing to gain the weight?
Eating.
Let me ask you a question. Eating. How many times?
But
do you
I
eat?
don't, my eating habits are bad.
Exactly.
And I don't get enough sleep. So then that's why it makes it very difficult for me
Throws
to
off
gain
your
the weight.
appetite.
Exactly.
A lot of things play a lot of role in gaining weight and losing weight. If you're trying to lose weight, you have to be in a calorie deficit. If you're trying to gain weight, you have to be in a calorie surplus. So if I'm trying to gain weight, I eat more. I eat 5 to 6 times a day just to maintain my muscles.
Oh, you mean you eat 3 main meals and then you snack
I
in
have
between?
snacks in between. Sometimes I have 5 main meals.
Those are 5 main meals.
I
What
eat
are
a
you
lot.
eating exactly?
I eat a lot. I eat fufu. I eat oatmeal. I eat rice with some chicken. I eat sweet potatoes with some
But that's too
chicken
much
breast.
for one person in a day.
It's not. If you think about it, I eat over almost 3,000 calories a day. Because I have fast metabolism, I'm working all the time, running, I'm teaching classes.
Yeah,
I'm burning like
so you
1,000
need
calories in the
to-
class, so I have to put that back into my body.
So it's not good to starve yourself then?
It's not. And then exactly, a lot of people think starving yourself is good because you're gonna lose weight,
Yeah.
but it's not. You can eat smaller portions and like every 3, 4, 5 hours. And
Which is what you do, or you still eat large portions?
I eat large portions. I eat a lot. Everybody around me knows I eat a lot.
Doug, is that not bad?
So there are several schools of thought around diet when it comes to how much one should be eating. But I think ultimately it comes down to what your goal is. He is obviously a very well-built gentleman. And in order to maintain his muscle mass to the proportions that he does have, it is befitting that he consumes an amount of calories that is commensurate with his level of activity.
Okay.
And how much he even burns or rests just by having all this muscle. But when we are talking about longevity and optimal health, the research is clear that the less you eat, the longer you live.
The less you eat, the longer you live.
Absolutely. So you can pick any organism from a single-celled yeast all the way up to multicellular organisms such as human beings.
Yeah.
And when you restrict the amount of calories they eat by up to, let's say, 50%, they live 50% longer.
I see. Interesting. Now let's go to the other side of the conversation where I said some people also want instant results, and so we're told that they gain weight for a while and then they undergo BBL, right? So they take out the fats. You can choose to transfer it or just, turn it into waste, whatever you want. But then you see instant results as well, where you see people who have taken the fats from around their stomach and their waist area, either transferred to their hip or they let it go. And I'm told that you can just take out the fat, take some supplements, and your hips just, expand. I was told that this weekend.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that healthy? Is it not? Because we're seeing a lot of women who are now looking very curvy.
But in the long run, it's going to catch up to them. That's why when you see people who get BBL, I mean, I live in the States.
Okay.
So
which is very common there.
Yeah, exactly. And then you see some of these females that got their body done when they were young, and then they're old and their body looks not appreciated. And people are advising younger people. There are people that did these surgeries when they were young, and they're advising actually younger people not to do it. And it's risky. People die from these surgeries. You know that people die from these surgeries?
I know people die, but then we've seen more people who have survived than people who have died.
I mean, so because more people survive, it's okay for people to do it?
I'm not saying it's okay. No. I am not. I'm just saying that you said people are dying. And I'm saying, well, I've seen more people who have gone and come back. Yeah. And they have all the curves.
But then that's what I said.
And then they keep wearing the waist trainer to keep it in shape.
In the long run, okay, why, if you did it and it's permanent, why are you wearing the waist trainer? If it's permanent and it's not going to you're not going to gain the weight back, why are you wearing the waist trainer? People go back for a second surgery because they gain all the weight back again, so they go for another surgery again.
Oh, so that's why they go for repeat
sessions? Yeah, that's why they go for repeat sessions.
I thought it's supposed to expand it more because you don't get the required. Because I hear the first one. I've asked a lot of questions, so don't judge me. No, I'm not interested. But I mean, I talk about some of these things on air, so I speak to them. No, I don't want to do it. No.
We can do it the right way. I can help you with it.
There's a right. You see, so now you're giving people the idea that there's a right way to do it. There's a right
way to exercise and eat healthy.
Oh, that's what you mean. I thought you meant there's a right way to get the fat out.
No, those surgeries and stuff. No.
No, I'm just asking those questions because I get curious when I meet people who, hitherto are very slender and all of a sudden they're like...
Some of them look funny because the legs to the butt ratio doesn't match.
The proportions
the proportions all over the place.
Yeah. So when you do, you have to do your thighs too.
And that's the question I ask all the time. I don't know if they can't do their thighs because they get bigger ass and the legs are
skinny. I mean, I don't think the ladies will be too happy with you gentlemen this morning because I'm sure there's someone who's probably saving right now, hoping that she can get the amount so she can go do it.
Again, it comes back to this instant gratification culture that we live in. You know, we want results and we want it now. We don't have the patience to put in the actual work that it takes to get long-term sustainable results, okay? So it's like the microwave culture. You put your food in the microwave, 1 minute it's ready, you go, you get a pill, everything is solved, right? But we don't want to address the root cause, okay? Lack of exercise or inactivity, overeating, poor stress management. All these things are the contributing factors. So instead of going in for that BBL, how about you address your habits? Because guess what, Bella? What's gonna end up happening is, yes, you go in, you lose some fat. I mean, the surgeon does his thing. But you don't have the habits to sustain that. So what's going to happen? 5 years down the line, the weight creeps back on. Because you never fixed how you eat. You never built the fitness habits to get regular exercise. Yeah. So what happens 5 years down the line? Have you ever followed up on someone who's done this 5 years? Inevitably, invariably, the weight comes back on. And what do? They now are in a dilemma.
Well, you come back to your normal shape.
They struggle. It even becomes worse because what happens is, during these surgeries, they are literally taking away the fat cells. And if you don't have fat cells to literally store excess energy, now it's going to go elsewhere, ectopic fat deposition within your organs and all these things. But you never hear about that, do you?
Yeah, they don't tell you that part. They leave that part out, yeah.
That's like, what, 5 years down the line? Or many years down the line?
Several years down the line.
Several years down the line.
Oh, so you won't see it now?
Yeah.
That's why I told you, you won't see the effects.
You'll look great in the short term.
You'll look good now, short term. But in the long run, it's going to creep up on you.
Ladies, good morning. I mean, I'll leave you to decide for yourself. We're only here to advise you, and so you can either take it or leave it. But if I'm going to suffer years later, I'd rather not do it. Sometimes it's annoying when you wear outfits and you don't see the hips, though. It's quite annoying, guys.
Like you were saying, if you try to exercise, do these things, it's things you can maintain. You can do it, and then, like I said, when you start seeing results, you feel happy going to the gym and exercising, and you're seeing the results. I'm happy when I'm in the gym because I see the results, you know? And then, like you said, we have to start changing people's mindset. I do with clients all the time, and when the first thing they come, oh, I want to lose this weight for vacation. I want to lose this weight for my birthday.
Somebody goes.
Exactly, somebody goes. But then, what is your body going to look like in wintertime, you know?
Oh, but then when you're wearing extra clothes, so nobody sees anything. So after that, you lose it again.
Like living in New York, it gets cold. Let's say if you live somewhere in Miami, it's hot all year round. So
you have to maintain.
You have to maintain it.
Anyway, I'm sorry if I couldn't read your messages this morning. I just can't seem to connect to my internet, but we'll see if we can do that maybe later on the show. But thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining me. And I need details. So you run a fitness company. Tell me all about it.
I have a fitness company called Hurricane Fitness.
Okay.
And under Hurricane Fitness, I have a class called Afrobeat Burnout. That is what I told you about, the dance and fitness class. I actually did a class in Kumasi, and I did one in Accra just past Saturday.
Okay.
I've been to like 15, 20 states in the U.S. I'm trying to travel to a lot more places so people can see the class. And I'm giving people the culture of Africa because it's a dance class done to African music.
Okay.
So that's the niche that I have.
But you do have regular classes for us.
Yes, I have regular classes. Right now I'm leaving back to the States. I don't live here, so I don't teach classes here. But I have online classes. I do virtual classes.
Okay. So how do we find you on social media?
My social media handles is Hurricane_GH.
Okay, what about you, Doc? And briefly so we can go.
Yes, I am Dr. Razak Rahman, or Zach as most people know me. I am the founder of the Fitness Fever Academy, which is an online school that helps busy professionals master the foundation of their health and fitness in 90 days or less.
I see. And well, you can find them on social media, be part of their fitness classes, and lose weight the right way. This is still TV3 NewDay. We have more coming up. Keep